Hi, we're up here in Crested Butte, Colorado, which I think is the Emerald City of Colorado. It's not very populated over here in the central southern part of the state, but it's spectacularly beautiful because although we're past the peak season for wildflowers, this is still alive with them. And this is also an interesting place because it's actually one of the most important areas where they're studying global warming. And when you're in a place like this, you wonder, what does this have to do with global warming? A few miles up the road here is a place called Gothic. And for a long time they've been doing research on these flowers, when they show up and when they go away. And have set up some experiments to discover what minor changes in the temperature are going to cause. In Colorado, we know a lot about that already, because if you go that direction over the Continental Divide into some of our most beautiful mountain areas in Grand Lake and area and Summit County, which are big homogeneous stands of lodgepole pine, there's a thing called the pine beetle that is literally killing off entire forests. Now, they've been around, the beetle's been around for a long time, but what's happened is we've had a drought here for several years. This summer it's been a little rainy, but most summers recently in the last 8 years it's been a drought, and it made the pines where they couldn't push out as much sap. And when these beetles drill down through the bark, normally they would have enough sap to wash them out, but with the drought they haven't. So these have been able to damage the part of the tree that moves life through that tree, and vast stretches have died. But that's not true over here yet. This is still beautiful and green. There's a lot more kinds of trees here, which is one reason. But they are watching it. On the global warming in Gothic, the experiments they're showing are that over time, if the temperature goes up even slightly, the sage starts to rise up. Right now we're at about 9,000 feet, and sage usually stops a little bit below this, but it's starting to come up the mountainsides. And it's a major concern to everybody in Colorado, because with the ski industry, whether it's the Aspen Ski Corp, which has been tremendously enlightened about this, or Crested Butte, which is that direction a couple miles, if global warming continues, the concern is, and they're seeing evidence this has started, that gradually the snow line will move up the hill. And instead of getting out your condo and stepping onto the snow and going down to the lift, you'll step into the mud and walk across into the frozen tundra and then ride the lift up to the snow, which would not be what we associate the optimum ski experience to be. It's a really interesting study they're doing, and it really does make you think about global warming. Tuffoldjocks love to be in beautiful places like this, where you're running wildflowers. And in the fall, when the aspen change, it's equally spectacular. But summer is especially sweet here because of these flowers. And you hate to think that anything would ever take them away. And you can kind of say to yourself, you want to have economic growth, that's great. And I do too. But there's some things that aren't worth risking. They're all around me. I hope to see you out here.